All right, welcome to our Monday night. No, but it's Tuesday night because it was a holiday yesterday. Fitness and Nutrition and Fitness 101 with Mama G and Samantha B. Excited to start our fall programming. We have all kinds of great stuff coming your way. And just want to say welcome to all of you. We have a couple new experimenters in our group. Want you to get on and support them. So we're looking forward to that. Samantha B will come on in a little bit and talk about her fitness portion, but I want to talk a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to move into some challenges that one of our lifestylers has encouraged us to move for. September challenge. I'm always up for a good challenge. And then we will talk about Mama G, and we're going to delve more into last week, which was last month. We talked about the fitness macros, really delved into why we want to be eating carbohydrates, why they are our main source of energy, and everything about them that is so wonderful. Not the crappy carbs, but the beautiful plant-based carbohydrates that we eat in a plethora. We also talked about the protein and fat and how important they are, but we're going to break down for you the whys of why we eat the Mama G's lifestyle in terms of meal sizes and the percentages of macronutrients and all of those things so that you guys feel really good about it. Number one, want you to have the knowledge so that when somebody says to you, hey, what are you doing? You look good, you feel good, all of these things, you can say, go to www.mamagslifestyle.com and you can find out more. You need to give away the trade secrets. But the bottom line is, I want you to know, we want you to know why you're doing what you do so that you can feel really comfortable in doing this for the rest of your life and being successful at it. So for the bookkeeping side of things, we are moving into a point of sale with our bank, which is Chase Bank. So it's nationally knowing. Everybody should feel really good about it. You will be invoiced from Chase Bank, and you will be able to pay from your bank to our bank or from your credit card to our bank. No fees attached, which is great for both sides of this. So that's what we're going to be doing starting now, probably tomorrow, September. So hold tight. If you already Venmo'd me, don't worry about it. But I may reverse those charges and ask you to move forward with our new banking system. And it's called something like Venmo has their name. I feel like it might be called Zelle or something like that, but I can't remember. Anyway, that's all I have on the bookkeeping side. You should have all gotten your email with your weekly roundup from Mama G's Lifestyle, which is great. That came from another lifestyler who said, I'm just, I'm not on social media all the time. You have so much content on social media. I feel like I'm missing things. So you should have gotten your weekly roundup coming from our assistant, Mindy. It will come from info@Mama G's Lifestyle in the future once we get that set up. But that gave you links to not only our Monday night call last week, but also all of the Facebook Lives that existed, if we had any new recipes that we put up, any information on the website, and then a what's to come. So this week, coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, when you get your email, you're going to start to find out some new things that Mama G's Lifestyle has planned for all of you, regardless of where you live in the world. We can say that because of, we got Sonia in Ireland. So I felt it was very relevant to dip more into the hows and the whys and the Mama G's lifestyle, because number one, it's not just something you do when you're in the experiment, whether you're in the experiment for the 90 days, whether you come back and forth in the experiment, whether you're in the experiment like Lisa Photo for almost her year anniversary. Everybody's different. Everybody has different goals, and everybody needs different support to get them there. What we've noticed, though, is with the transition of Mama G's Lifestyle, the website came into fruition in March. We added the fitness macros into the website in August. We have all kinds of stuff coming. Stay tuned. I can't say it because Samantha B will have my throat. But there's a lot of stuff on there that you guys don't know about. So number one, you should be having a call with me this week, 15 to 30 minutes max, hopefully more on the 15-minute side of it, where I want to make sure that you're utilizing everything that we offer, to your satisfaction and that you're getting the most out of it. Secondly, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you feel is successful, where you think we're lacking, how we can help you, what that looks like. But the bottom line here is that you should be able to follow the nutrition macros forever. So Mama G sits in the fitness macros as is on a daily basis. I usually eat my 3 square meals sitting around that 400 calorie range. I push it a little bit because I play with a lot of recipes and play with a lot of different ingredients, but you're not going to see me, even me, Mama G, who exercises like a fiend and is super active, eating more than about 425 to 450 calories per her 3 main meals, all right? Difference is that I'm eating 3 snacks right now. All right, and guess what? You too can be just like Mama G when you grow up, when you become super active in your everyday life and you have more muscle mass that, guess what, requires more calories to sustain it. But nothing changes. My snacks still look exactly like yours. 2 of my snacks every day are a dairy and a fruit. Do I need to add in some calculated fat with some nuts and different things like that on a regular basis? You bet I do. Not only to kind of get those nutrients, those macros balanced, but also to make sure I'm getting in my calories and to make sure at the end of my day that my chart looks just like yours, around 50, 30, 20 with the carbohydrates and the fats and the proteins. So let's go right into that cheat sheet, because every one of you should be utilizing that cheat sheet still. I still, every single day, because I wanted to show you guys how important it was to really log your food. I'm enjoying it. I've been logging my food consistently since I came back from Europe the middle of July. I have had great success in reaching my goal to reduce my body fat by a little bit, and super happy because I didn't restrict my calories very much. I did have to restrict them a tiny bit, but now I'm adding calories back in, and now it's kind of rough, but not eating crap. I'm really careful to make sure that I'm balancing my macronutrients and that I'm getting delicious and nutritious, wholesome, real food. I am on a plan just like some of you will be for September when we talk about the challenges at the end, because I want to make sure we have everybody on the call who's going to be with us with the no alcohol. And you know what? I'm really kind of loving it with the no alcohol. I do enjoy a glass of beer, ice cold beer, some of the different, not an IPA gal, but some of the other kind of different things that are out there. I do enjoy a good glass of red wine. But right now, I really want to show you guys, number 1, not an alcoholic. Number 2, I really would rather eat my calories. And number 3, that I can do it too, right? Role modeling for all of you, right? Not feeling deprived, even though every Sunday night, the wine bottles come out and those who choose to participate, right? So when we looked at that nutrition cheat sheet, you, somebody who might be in the lifestyle, who's sitting at maintaining their weight or whatever your particular situation is, may be sitting at more calories. But nothing changes other than calories when we look at the daily goals. So when we look at the macro goals, we are looking at our mostly plant-based diet in the Mama G lifestyle with your carbs sitting at about 50%, right? Where are those carbohydrates coming from? They are coming from mostly plants, right? Our starchy, grainy carbs and our non-starchy veggies. They are also coming from our dairy, right? Whether you're eating, well, I should say dairy / calcium / vitamin D, right? Because we might be eating soy products or some other foods that offer that calcium dose, but huge issue with us getting enough calcium and vitamin D in our life, and we will just call it a dairy serving, even though it's not always a dairy serving. So the macronutrients are incredibly important. Again, the carbohydrates coming from non-starchy vegetables with the calories. I'm going to turn this light on real quick. Bear with me. I want to mention, I'm not sure if any of you saw it, But a couple weeks ago, I ran into well, she's a new client now, and she said to me that they're on a ketogenic diet. Well, I have a huge issue with a ketogenic diet, just to tell you, for a lot of reasons. And I think I might be delving into some of these diet fads out there, so that, number one, you can be able to give logical, current, relevant information to people you know and love who might be utilizing these diets, because a lot of them are not sustainable, and they certainly could promote disordered eating and different things like that. And they're going to lose muscle mass, which is really, really not something we want to be doing. But she had said to me, I said, so what do you mostly eat? Well, mostly we eat meat and healthy fats. And I said, well, what about carbohydrates? She says, well, we don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, but we eat a lot of vegetables. And so I came home that day and I pulled out my 2 to 3 ounces of salmon that was left over. I pulled out about a cup of my farro salad, which was delicious, with the farro and lots of veggies and a delicious lemon dressing in there. And then I pulled out probably about 6 ounces of grilled veggies that I had. Now, that plate looked bomb. It sat around that 400 calories. The macronutrients were spot on at the 50, 30, 20. And then I said, I'm going to make this same meal, but I'm going to get rid of the starchy grainies. And so I had my little lone piece of salmon, which looked really pathetic on this plate. Couldn't have those starchy grainies. And I literally, in order to get the same amount of calories and to hit my 50, 30, 20-ish with the carbs and the fat and the protein, I had to add, no joke, drum roll, 2 pounds of my roasted veggies. And I put a screenshot up for you guys. I showed my plate versus somebody who doesn't eat starches. The problem with not eating starches and grains, plant-based, not highly processed, is that they are nutrient dense. So in order to get calories, you got to eat a lot of them. So therein lies the reason that we see a lot of people losing weight on these diets when they cut carbs. Now, we cut carbs. We cut crappy carbs, right? But when they cut carbs, they're cutting out these beautiful nutrient-dense foods, and now they're going to be under eating. Hence, they're not going to be eating enough calories. Hence, they're going to be starving, so they can't sustain it forever. And by the way, what happens to them? They lose weight by virtue of the fact that they're starving. So the nutrient-dense carbohydrates are critical because, number one, they make you feel full. They provide a ton of nutrition and fiber, and they make you really enjoy what you're putting in your mouth. So understand the beauty and the reasoning behind those carbohydrates. You know, when we talk about that fat, again, we are looking at mostly plant-based fats. I was listening to a nutrition show the other day where they were talking about the ketogenic diet. And for some reason, physiologically and biochemically, we do see this pretty dramatic reduction in negative blood lipids, triglycerides, and LDLs, the losers. I don't know if I'm mirrored here. When somebody goes on a ketogenic diet or a low carbohydrate diet. You want to know why? Because they changed their diet, number one. They reduce their calories, number two, because they probably added exercise thing in number three. And number four is they got rid of the crap, right? They took away the donuts and the candy and the ice cream and all of those crappy, ultra processed, highly processed foods. And now, you know, all of a sudden we see reductions in their cholesterol levels, but number one, it's not sustainable. Number two, we cannot allow ourselves not to get the fiber that is critically needed from these beautiful starchy, grainy carbs. And it's a temporary phenomenon, okay? So beware. All right. And then you know that we look at those proteins that are so important to us. So another reason that we look to balance those macronutrients, right? Around 50% carbohydrate, around 30% fat, around 20% protein in every one of our main meals is because it helps to keep our blood sugar stable. So one of the huge problems that we run into, and my husband is a huge offender of this, and I keep telling him, please, honey, please let me take your breakfast choices. He has about 3 or 4 of them that he eats regularly, and please let me just Mama G-size them, which means I just want to balance those macros and balance your calories. And really what I'm going to be doing is just changing the proportion sizes of things and adding a few things to them. But you're going to love it. You're actually probably going to feel better. You're not going to be so tired after your workouts and during your workouts. And we haven't gotten there yet. And now that I'm in school, I don't have a lot of time, but maybe tonight, maybe I will try to build 1 or 2 recipes for him, and write it down on a piece of paper and encourage him to kind of do a little more calculated weighing and measuring in the mornings, but we'll see. But when we balance those carbohydrates, the beautiful plant-based carbohydrates, with those healthy fats and with that protein, what happens is we have this blood sugar that stays level. The problems that we have with prediabetes and diabetes is that we have no control of those blood sugars. And so we have these spikes because we do what I was going to say in terms of what my husband does. He'll have a bowl of cereal, and what's in that bowl of cereal? It's a cereal that has sugar added to it. He likes things like Honey Nut Cheerios and Raisin Bran and Frosted Mini Wheats, and then he puts his 1% milk in there, which is a great nutrient-dense food. But then what do we have? We have something that is high in carbohydrates, low in fat, and low in protein. And that's going to cause that sugar spike. And when that sugar spike happens, the pancreas has to turn on. We've got to produce more insulin to help regulate that glucose that's coming into the cell. And it's just a potential block up. It's a sick alert waiting to happen on your highway in your body. And so when somebody's pre-diabetic, and God forbid somebody's actually diabetic, let's liken it to your vehicle. You're driving your vehicle around, and hopefully you're getting your regular maintenance, oil changing, rotating the tires, replacing your tires, looking at your brake pads, all of those things, so that the warning light never turns on. Guess what? Once the warning light turns on, do you know what that means? It means that dysfunction has occurred. And when that warning light turns on, by the way, it's going to cost you money. You're going to have to take the car into the shop. The likelihood that you just need an oil change or just need to have your tires rotated are pretty slim to none. You probably need to replace your tires. You probably need to replace your brake pads. You might have to replace the drums that might have gotten eaten up because your brake pads are hitting metal to metal. In terms of your oil being changed, maybe you waited too long and now you've got dysfunction in the engine, which, holy crud, that could add up to a whole lot of money. You don't let that happen with your car, do you? So why do you let that happen to your body? All right. Somebody told us today, like, you guys are pretty stern. You guys are pretty matter of fact. And it's like, don't you want us to be? Aren't you here so you can hear the truth? Don't you want Mama G and Samantha B to keep it real so that, we give you that tough love? I mean, honest to God, we do this because we care. Honest to God, we're passionate like no other. All we can talk about Mama G's lifestyle, living the lifestyle and everything we're capable of because of the lifestyle all day, every day. And we have to actually cut it because, most people in our lives could care less. But we want to help you. We want to help you be better for the rest. And we want to help you live long, healthy, independent lives. And so, we can care all we want. We can drag you to the watering hole and encourage you to drink, but you got to be the one that's got to execute. So we're giving you lots and lots of tools, and we're going to encourage you how to use them. So knowledge is one of the most important things we can give you. I was watching on TV, Nutrisystem this morning. Lou, I lost 18 pounds in a month and they give me all the food I need and I can eat pizza and cake and candy and blah, 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 blah. temporary, cost you a lot of money, eating a lot of crap, can't sustain it, got to gain that weight back. You know what? We're just not into it at all. So we got to teach you. You are back in Nutrition 101 with Mama G. You're back in Fitness 101 with Samantha B. And we want you to know why you're doing what you're doing so that you can actually be successful, even when you go into our lifestyle for the rest of your life, because you never want to leave us, because we give you so much content on a regular basis that you feel it's worth your $9.99 a month. So anyway, that being said, let's keep going on our daily goals. So again, I don't care if you're in the lifestyle. I don't care what your goal is. Everybody worldwide, unless you are tube fed because you've got serious illness, should be eating the Mama G lifestyle way. When we talk about the daily goals, your daily goals absolutely should consider having 3 servings of calcium and vitamin D. Number 1, because we are deficient in those nutrients. Number 2, it is the best way to get it. And again, we'll work with you if you happen to be a vegan, if you're somebody who's not able to have lactose and different things, we'll help you get that dairy and that calcium and vitamin D in a different way. But it's crucial, not only from you, but as I always say, from birth to death. So your children, your babies, your seniors, your midsters, you whatever. Mark said yuppies the other day. I said, is that even a thing anymore? Yuppies? Holy smokes, folks. So, and making sure that you're not falling prey to what's been out there lately is, the whole milk dairy is the way to go. Yeah, let's have a fat dose of saturated fat, and let's clog those arteries and increase our risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes, and certain cancers. Nope, not falling prey to the trends, not falling not falling prey to the fads, sticking with the science and the evidence, and sticking with moderation. So, we look to those non-starchy veggies, consuming at least 100 calories a day, at least, looking to those fruits. And by the way, we have to worry about those fruits. We either have people who say, oh, there's so much sugar in fruit. Yeah, natural sugar, by the way. And if you're eating anything with added sugar, you shouldn't be. And by the way, it's one of those nutrient-dense foods, so we certainly need to worry about the calories behind it. So that's why we limit those fruits. And again, if your calorie goals are higher, we're going to probably add in a 3rd snack, or we're just going to take those 2 snacks and increase the calories on them. And that's where Mama G and you work together on your particular goals. Those animal sources are really the accoutrement, like the jewelry that we wear, right? It's not the outfit that we're wearing. It becomes part of your meal. It becomes the accent on the syllable, and you should really enjoy that little bit of lean protein that you get every day if you choose to have animal protein. If not, we can get you there the vegan or vegetarian way. And of course, we want to look at those fats coming from beautiful plant-based foods like avocado and olive oil and nuts and seeds. And I did a whole live Facebook and Instagram post on coconut oil and why it should be used like butter in moderation and only on special occasions. So lastly, I've got 5 minutes here before we get with Samantha B. And that is that you are, for all of us, including Mama G and Samantha B, is that we are going to sit around that 400 calories per meal. Number 1, our stomach is a certain size. So our goal for you is to be able to have a plate of food, not need to go back for more, not look to go back for more, feel satisfied with that portion, not walk away from the table saying, oh, I'm so full, nor I'm starving. So it's a beautiful portion that sits in those macronutrient ranges. And I think one of the most important things to realize is it's a range. It's not the 50, 30, 20 exactly, although some of you love to be OCD and type A and hit them smack dab. It's around 45 to 55 for that carbohydrate in that meal. It's around 25 to 35 in that fat for that meal. It's around 15 to 25 for that protein in that meal. And when we look at those starchy grainy carbs, you know, and then we look at the fact that we want to eat around 500 calories from that starchy grainy carb, that you're getting them from those 3 square meals each day, now you know you get about 150 to 200 calories in each meal. It's very, very easy. Again, some of us who are adding that third snack or adding more calories, like Mama G today, had to build a snack that hit those macros, and I'll post it up later if I haven't already, but it was 1 slice of Dave's Killer with a little peanut butter and jelly. I had it as a post double workout, and I had some dairy in there too, and it really was just a nice little snack, a little great post workout for me, since I killed it in the 2 workouts, allowing me to help replenish those glycogen stores and have that protein to help build and repair my new muscle. So for those of you who have moved into the lifestyle and have goals more than losing body fat and building lean muscle mass or sustaining lean muscle mass, that's where you need Mama G on a more calculated basis, right? It's not this kind of general plan that we're working right now. Along with working in those breakfast, lunch, and dinners, we talked about those. Oh, my dogs are going crazy, so pardon them in the background. Cut it out. No playing right now. You've got those non-starchy vegetables in your lunch and dinner. Again, I'll take the non-starchies in breakfast if you're eating a savory meal. Beautiful. I will never deny it. I will take your non-starchies, add it in if you need calories at your snacks. Beautiful. Do it. But again, we're trying to get a balance of our foods. Holy crud, dogs, get lost. So we don't want to have too much of anything. So when Mama G is building her meals, and you've seen me post every single meal, 99% of my meals have been posted in the last 6 weeks. Hopefully you're getting some good ideas from that. Again, keeping that dairy in your breakfast, keeping those dairies at your 2 snacks, and then limiting that animal protein. We also talk about things like having a vegetarian vegan meal every day. It's usually in your breakfast, right? That's an easy one. Trying to get a half a cup of beans most days a week, you know, in one of your meals. That'll help you push your protein for those vegetarian vegan meals. And to add in those beautiful fish items and seafood that allow you to get those beautiful omega-3s as well. So lots of ways to do this. But really, I want to take everybody back to that cheat sheet. If you're not in the experiment, if you're in the lifestyle and you feel like, I need a little bit more Mama G, I need a little bit more hand holding on the nutrition side of it, hey, get me for a session, right? You can hire me for a session. We'll do a virtual chat or an in-person chat to where you are. We'll work together to meet your goals and get you set. Maybe you're somebody who needs both Mama G and Samantha B for a little hand holding. Come back into the experiment for a month. No big deal. And then you have us access via text every single day. And some of you have made one-on-one session appointments virtually or in person with Samantha B because you've got goals, or maybe you need a little help with your fitness macros for the moment. We are here to help you any way we can. The experiment is a very cost-effective 90-day program to help get you lined up and living a really healthy lifestyle. The lifestyle is for you either to continue on the experiment, right? So you have the support on the Facebook page and you have all the content on the website. But if you're still working the experiment, if you're working the lifestyle and have goal changes that come up, you may need more of us. And guess what? You're worth it, right? So think about how Mama G and Samantha B can help you in the future. So I'm going to go back out of sharing my screen. Samantha B, are you around? I'm going to see if she found it, and I'm going to share my. So Samantha, unmute yourself, please. You want me to share my screen with you?
I sent it to you via text.
All right. So I'm going to see if I can get this for you guys. Share my screen. This is not going to work. So Sam, do you mind if I just share my screen and you play it? Or I need you to email it to me?
It's going to be too loud here.
Okay, so I need you to email me because I can't get the link from it. It just goes right to my thing. So I'm going to take a minute while Sam emails me that link because we're going to play her fitness information as a little Logan is awake. I'm going to switch to the gallery view so I can see all of you. Does anybody have a question right now while I'm waiting for Sam to shoot that email to me that I can answer for you? I would need a little hand raise from those of you I can see. And there's Felicia. So let me unmute you. All right, girl. How's it going?
Great. But I have a question about my snacks.
You bet.
So I thought they were supposed to be a dairy and a fruit, and that I didn't need to worry about balancing my macros.
Correct. So for the most part, you do not need to balance your macros on your snacks as long as we are balanced at the end of the day, right, on our pie chart. Number two, as long as you're somebody who's not telling me that you're having cravings, that you're feeling hungry, that there's any other kind of imbalance happening in the food realm. For those people who might have issues with any of those things, we will go back to balancing those macros for those snacks as well to help stabilize your blood sugars. But if you're feeling good, and what most of you feel like, as long as we are eating those three main meals, or the three square meals, right, and we're hitting those macros, you will have no issues with not being spot on with your snacks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Perfect.
Okay,
anything
thanks.
else from you while I get this thing loaded?
Not me.
Okay. So I'm going to mute you, and I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully I'll find Samantha B, and then I'll come back to answer any questions that you guys have. But I'm sure Samantha B has once again knocked it out of the park with her share, and I look forward to listening myself.
Good evening, experimenters and lifestylists. It is Samantha B here with I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm going to set a timer. Short and sweet tonight, right around 20, 25 minutes, okay? So it's a new month. We are here kicking off September. So if you are brand new to the group, you started this week, welcome. This is your first call. If you are newer, maybe it's your second or third month, you should be phasing up. So the only people that are working off of phase 1 fitness macros are those that are brand new to the experiment. If you are into your 30 days, your second 30 days, you're on phase 2. If you're on your third and final 30 days, you're on phase 3. If you are a lifestyler, you are living the dream right now, working towards whatever goal, your fitness goal that is, that you are working towards, and hopefully you have a plan that you are going to execute to get there. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. My overall goal of this evening and overall subject line is we here at Mama G's Lifestyle are educating you, and hopefully not only educating you, but helping you realize that we exercise because we love our body, not because we hate it. And we are having you do these fitness macros because it's a punishment to you. It's actually a blessing. And recognizing that and acknowledging the fact that you are able to do this is one of the biggest blessings that you have right now, along with the fact that you get to choose and make every meal that you eat to be nutritious and delicious. Now, let's just hit my first tangent right off the bat. So it is a new month. So your overall goal still needs to be clear in sight. So I need you to define what is your better for the rest. So right now, my current goal is a 60 kilo snatch, which is a lift that I've been working towards for a little while now. So do the math, 60 times 2.2 from the ground over my head in one fell swoop. So that's my goal right now, along with completing my first sprint triathlon with Mama G this weekend in Laguna Beach, California, which should be super fun after we did our little trial run this weekend. Now, I just defined to you what will be my better for the rest right now, but I also have a few other goals that I want to share with you guys that are part of my weekly goals. So one of them is to enjoy Saturday night, some alone time with my hubs that is probably really well, or really needed at this time in our relationship. We just got back from a big vacation, get a little bit of time to ourselves, but not too much. So we really don't ever spend very much just one-on-one time. We don't really spend that much family time daily because of our work schedules are so opposite. So that's definitely on my list of priorities for this week, to really, we have an opportunity to go to a show on Saturday night, the night before the triathlon. So I'll be on my best behavior, but still definitely enjoying seeing one of our favorite bands together. So that's also part of my Better for the Rest. And so how am I going to be successful in those three very different goals? So number one, I have a plan. I have a plan in order to hit that 60 kilograms snatch. And one of them is really based off all three of my fitness macros. So I'm going to have my specific macros that I am going to be dedicated to hit for this week. Now, hold on. Let me stay on topic. Number two, I'm going to eat great. I'm going to hydrate really good. And I'm going to look for triggers that will hold me back. So triggers that could potentially hold me back is that my daughter is teething like crazy right now. Triggers that happened yesterday, which messed up my workout routine, was, I worked all morning considering that I don't take Labor Day off, and show up at the gym after hustling, trying to get there, and kids club is closed, which I'm very used to it being open. And I actually just started moving her into a toddler section that I don't need to make an appointment. If I would have tried to make an appointment, I would have known they were closed. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. So that got cut in the butt, and I just chalked it up to my body needed another day to recover from our 30-minute bike ride or 1 hour bike ride that turned into 2.5. So I definitely could have used a little bit more recovery, considering one, I did a little bit of extra cardio that I wasn't planning on doing, and two, I haven't been sleeping all that much due to a little bit of the teething situation, which is no big deal. And by no big deal, it's not her fault. I'm the mom, whatever. So I've got the teething baby, I've got holiday hours, and then I also put on my list that watching TV, period. So I know that this week is a non-TV week for me. I really don't have time to watch anything. I have so many things that I have to do that in order for me to feel like, one, I can pay attention to my husband when we go out on Saturday night, and two, I can feel confident that I can go and attack the course that I'm competing in on Sunday. I can't really have programming hanging over my head. I can't really have scheduling hanging over my head, and all the things that have to do with my own personal job, okay? I need you guys to recognize where your triggers lie, okay? So whatever weeks you have, I'm not going to attain my first 60 kilo snatch this week. I'm not even going to attempt it for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 weeks. So that's kind of a lofty goal, but I'm still working towards it weekly, definitely. The completing the sprint try is happening this week, and the Saturday enjoyment with my family or my husband is happening this week, okay? So I know that if I were to not execute my plan that I've already prepared, if I do not eat great, if I do not hydrate great, if I don't look for and realize my triggers, then I could fall susceptible to not being successful. And what would happen? Would I not finish the sprint try? Absolutely not. I'm too crazy. I would definitely finish it. Would I not go out with my husband? Absolutely not. He would kill me. Would I feel a lot of additional stress? You bet. Would I be less prepared for next week and the weeks to come? You bet. And that right now to me is not worth it. So identifying your triggers that are setting you away from hitting your exercise commitments need to be recognized right off the bat. Is it time? Maybe. Is it kids club? Maybe. Is it lack of motivation? Maybe. Is it TV, phone calls, work? Maybe. Whatever it is, you need to find your perfect time that you can do it, whether it's pre or post. Ideally, we all do well off what, 7, 8 hours of sleep? Is that what normal people get? Yeah. So budget your time. Give yourself time that you are going to exercise, make food, eat food, spend time. And when you're spending time with people, spend time with people. When you are exercising, exercise. When you are prepping dinner, you can probably talk to people and do other things too. So that one gives you a little bit more freedom. Okay. So I want you guys to do those things. You have a plan. If you're part of the experiment right now, you go to your fitness macros, whether you are a level 1, level 2, or level 3, you should know that. If you don't, you can ask me because I know what level you are. You then execute all 3 of your fitness macros, your mobility, your cardiovascular exercise, and your strength training in order for you to reach your goal. So whatever your goal is at the end of this, I don't care what it is. I do care what it is. But whatever the goal is, if you want to get there, and if you want to get there fast, I know so many people that want to get to their goals like yesterday, but if they don't want to put in the work today, don't expect it to happen. If you want to cheat your hydration, if you want to cheat your nutrition, if you want to cheat your exercise, don't expect that goal to just show up on your front door like an Amazon package within 24 hours of shipping, okay? You need to be realistic with how long it takes for you to change this particular, whatever it is, your strength, your mobility, or your cardio, because it's taken you however long to start changing it, okay? And going for it harder isn't always better, okay? So the only thing, there's probably more, but one thing I can think of right now that would be better in mass quantities is the amount of love that you have for yourself. The amount of love that you have for yourself that you want to sign up for the experiment with Mama G and Samantha B and actually invest in yourself to get in control. You have a nutrition expert and a fitness expert that are here for you, that you can run through your plan, you can have a support system. But what essentially needs to happen is you need to implement. You need to recognize where you're going and how you're going to get there. And you need to take the steps every single day in order to do that. Now, there are things that Mama G and Samantha B might not know about you. Maybe you leave all of your laundry until the end of the week. I do this. Do I want to change this? And I'm going to change it. I am. Maybe you are one of those people that need to do a load every 2 days so you don't spend Sunday doing 7 loads of laundry. But there are things that you need to identify, okay? And that's what I'm talking about with the triggers. You need to identify if there's laundry that needs to be done and that's going to keep you housebound, that you can't get to the gym or you can't use this, that, or the other thing in order to go to the store and blah, 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 blah. Don't let those triggers get you again. If they happened, recognize it, great. Maybe write it down. Maybe make yourself a little note. If you have a planner, I'm a really, really, really big written planner person. I do use a little bit of digital that is for some other stuff, but I actually just bought the biggest calendar to share with my husband for like life calendar stuff. And I'll be showing you guys, don't worry. And it's so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm super happy about it. But I'm so visual that I want to take up one of my entire walls and make it into a calendar so I can see when my daughter is going to the doctors, when my husband's on call, when I'm working a weekend, when I'm doing a live call, when I'm doing this, so that we can be in communication with each other so I can't get things in the way of me working towards my goal, because it's too important to me. It's too important for me to model it to you. It's too important for me to model it to my husband and my daughter. And it's too important for me to let go of myself, because I love myself that much. Now, are there days that I wake up, maybe, I don't know, I would say that I weigh in at least, sometimes I weigh in every week. Sometimes I wait and do bi-weekly. I definitely weigh myself at least once every 3 weeks, just to see where I'm sitting. Really, I rarely, I used to, don't get me wrong, I used to weigh myself at morning and at night for as long as I can remember. And man, was I not loving that person, because that number meant way, way, way too much to me. Now that I've put my focus more on me as a person inside, and I know that what I'm eating is calculated. I know that what I'm outputting is calculated. I know that I'm doing self-care that's only to benefit me. I'm not doing things that are sabotaging myself, like drinking, and not that I don't have a cocktail here and there, because I definitely do, but I don't drink every night. I don't smoke. I don't stay up at all hours of the night unless somebody wants to hang out with me, Logan. But I know that what I'm doing is what I'm doing for a reason, and that's why I believe in the program so much, that really when you let go of that scale a little bit, it's pretty empowering. Now, if I had a goal that I wanted to lose some weight or I wanted to lean out, then yeah, I would definitely need to step on the scale each week, as you guys are, and I would need to therefore be as calculated as humanly possible. So if you have any type of composition weight loss goal right now, whether you are experiment or lifestyle, the more specific that you can get on your intake, the better. But with that being said, the more specific you can get on your output, the better. And understanding that output needs to be based off intake. So this is where you get a little extra bonus. You have Mama G and Samantha B here for your disposal. So the best thing that's happened is utilizing your heart rate monitor. So if you're tracking all your workouts and you are burning somewhere in the vicinity of 3,500 calories each week, that adds up to a pound off of a deficit, okay, of your caloric intake. We have given you a specific amount of calories in order for you to maintain composition of your body, which is holding onto that lean muscle tissue and hopefully trying to remove some of that body fat if that's happened to the goal, or you're holding on to lean muscle and trying to add to it. So those are really the two things that the experiment is working towards. Nobody's trying to gain fat, I'm pretty sure, in the Mama G's lifestyle experiment. Now, when you get to the lifestyle, remember that once you hit goal, you need to add calories in order to maintain, and maintaining is a great place to be, okay? If you're in a great maintenance mode, you should start really thinking about how good your body feels, because if it doesn't feel good, we need to start making some changes. Now, I want to rewind. We are here because tonight we are here to listen about this topic. I exercise. Has it really been 25 minutes? I exercise because I love my body, not because I hate my body. And this is why fitness macros are here. Let's go macro by macro and just do a small purpose behind them. I do mobility because I want to be able to use every joint in my body at the range of motion that it is supposed to work. I had a great kind of learning lesson with some clients a few weeks ago in regards to shoulder mobility. And people tend to forget that your shoulders aren't like free pieces of body that are just attached to your body. They're attached. I guess that was a weird way to say it, but they're not just clicked in and not connected. Basically, they're not free floating. All right. So we should have a ton of range of motion through our shoulders. And if we don't, we need to therefore look for what else is connected into our shoulders. So you can probably you probably understand that there's a shoulder girdle up here that has all kinds of stuff connected. So you have that clavicle bone that's coming through the front of it, right? That's attached to that intercostal position between your rib cage. You have that sternum, you have your ribs. Behind here, you have your spine, which is then connected to your neck, which then comes down to your hips. And then we figure that, oh, shoot, you're all connected. But anyway, if you are lacking range of motion in your spine, then your shoulder can be affected. If you are lacking range of motion between your shoulder blades, your shoulder can be affected. If you are lacking range of motion in the front of your body, your shoulder can be connected. So if you don't move the joint, you'll lose it. I rarely talk about this on calls, but I talk about it with my clients regularly, and that has to do with plantar flexion, and dorsiflexion, okay? So that's ankle flexion and extension. So when I plantar flex my ankle, I'm pointing my toe as far as I can. When I dorsiflex my foot, I'm going into the flexion, the extension of my ankle. Now, when I do that movement, I'm going to do that movement every single day, doing one activity that most of us, I guess all of us would definitely have to do if we're mobile, and that is walk, okay? But when we walk versus when we run, or versus when we stretch, can be different range of motions. So if you aren't moving that joint through its full range of motion, you'll lose it. When you start incorporating some movement towards it, you'll therefore regain that mobility, which will directly affect the muscles that are attached to that movement pattern. Every joint has a movement pattern from your toes all the way up to your cervical spine, okay? So everything in between your toes and your cervical spine should be moving as often as possible. That's where I want you guys to start from the inside out, and that's why we start cat-cows, thoracic rotations, bird dogs, pelvic peels, to start you moving your spine so that the core, the transverse abdominis, and then all the back stabilizers will start to move, okay? Now, we do mobility because of that purpose. We want to lubricate and keep all of the range of motion in every joint in our body so that we can perform cardiovascular exercise and strength exercise. But the purpose between our cardiovascular exercise is not to lose weight, although it does help to get calories off top, but it is to condition the most important muscle in our body. So in theory, we could argue that it's strength training because we're doing strength training on our heart. Okay, so we do our cardiovascular exercise to can always push our cardio through the roof, red zone. For those of you guys that are using your heart rate monitors, you know you should still be able to move in your lower intensity exercises and still be developing heart strength. That is awesome. You know that when you're pushing your cardio up into those higher levels, you're developing a different form of that heart strength. When you're doing your intervals, you're working on a different form of that heart strength. Doing them in combination is awesome, okay? Then comes to our strength. The most undermined, the most well sought out exercise there is. So when it comes to strength training, at the beginning of the experiment, we want you to just get a comfortable ability, the confidence to walk into a gym and take ownership of a program. The confidence that then once you finish the experiment, then you can go out and do a class and participate in activities that you're not worried about, one, not knowing how to do it, but two, being okay with not knowing how to do it because nobody else really cares besides you. So we build up your confidence and we build that base of strength using our big muscles and then incorporating some smaller muscle groups because we want that big metabolic burn from those big muscle groups like our quads, our hamstrings, our glutes, our chest, and our back. Ladies and gentlemen, fitness macros are devised in order to help you not only love but respect your body, the only body that you're going to get for this entire life that you get to live. Now, whether you choose to beat it down or you choose to grow it up is your choice. Samantha B is here to help you find really, really, really good options. Now, if you're still finding that something is aggravating you, we want to not only look at that cardiovascular exercise component, but we want to look at your mobility and your strength as well. Are you following good patterns in your strength? Are you moving all of your joints and mobility, making sure that there's a healthy joint for you to grow on top of? Now, I would love, I take a video. I don't know if you guys are going to think I'm weird or what. Pretty much every single set that I do that my coach is not there when I'm working out, when I'm doing resistance training. I'm doing it, one, to watch my line, two, to see where I could change and make it better because I am a perfectionist and I want to do the least amount of work in order to have the best outcome in the particular lift that I'm doing, okay? In order to do that, I can't see myself lift. I need to then video it to see it. I have more video about myself doing exercises than I would like to admit, okay? And I watch them. I watch them right after, immediately after, and then when I get home, I rewatch all my film from that particular workout. Why do I do that? I just explained to you. Why do you not do that? Why do you not send me multiple videos in a day or a week saying, hey, Sam, how does that mobility look? Am I improving? Because guess what? I'd be able to tell you, because it would be a second set of eyes that sees all kinds of bodies each week. I've seen them grow. I've seen them not grow. I know the people that are doing their mobility and not. Remember, you have tools. Mama G is there. Every meal, you better give her a buzz if you're in the experiment. You ask her, I'm going to Starbucks. Can I eat anything there? She'll say, put something in, see if you can. And you'll learn. She'll say, give this option a try. Samantha B, you send me a pelvic peel and I'm going to say, are you feeling every single vertebrae go all the way down? Or are you rushing through the bottom half? Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much more to talk about. That is all I have for this evening. Please, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, I want to hear about them. This is week 1 for some people. So guys, motivate our new September experimenters because they are ready to become better for the rest. If this is your first Nutrition and Fitness 101 call, you need to start defining what makes you better for the rest. Are you going to have an independent life for as long as you possibly can, or are you going to run a marathon? What is it that you are trying to work towards? Because we would love to hear it on Mama G's private Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Samantha B, and you are better for the rest.
As usual, Samantha knocks it out of the park. Let's unshare the screen. And we are right on schedule here. So let me just mention this about the challenges from Cara Segan, our Massachusetts gal. And she had talked about, she's been in the lifestyle, kind of feeling like, you know, she's not really been participating too much. Cara, get back on the page to participate with us. But we're going to call it a back to school challenge. Hopefully it'll be up and running tomorrow. And you've got to choose however you want. But this is really to motivate not only those of you who are actively working the experiment, but also to challenge those of you who kind of sit in the lifestyle and maybe you're getting a little too comfy in the lifestyle, right? A little bonbon sitting on the couch, feet up, we're watching Netflix and chilling. No. That's not what we do in the lifestyle. We are active participants. So one of the things you can think about doing is going no sugar. By the way, Mama G and Cara are in the non-sugar thing. I have been no sugar since July 18th, and I am killing the game. I honestly am like, what's it going to be like to go back to maybe having a little ice cream cone on Sunday night after dinner? So, you know, it's coming. And honestly, I'm enjoying my real, whole, beautiful food so much that I'm going to actually have to be pushed in. Samantha B will take care of it. By the way, I already know. I'm working this plan through Tahoe, which is the World Championship for Spartan. It is happening on September 29th. And that night after the race, which is going to be 15 plus miles, I'm going to be out on the course for likely 5 plus hours. I am going to burn probably 1,500 calories. I am having a big fat cone, waffle cone, with at least 2 to 3 scoops of mocha almond fudge ice cream. How do you feel about that, Felicia? How's that sound? Delicious? Sherry's like, sounds good. But guess what? I am going to earn it. And guess what else I'm going to have? I'm going to have a beer at the finish line. And then I'm going to probably feel a little crappy. I'm going to have a sugar high. I'm going to have an altitude issue because the altitude bothers me. And then guess what? I'm going to be eating a beautiful, nutritious, and delicious lunch that is going to be, and it's going to be Mexican. And it's probably going to be something like shrimp fajitas, right? And for dinner, I'm going to have some beautiful starchy grainy carb and probably some lean protein and a plethora of vegetables. But I get to have a few treats because I put in the frickin' work. But you know what? Most of the time, Mama G is not interested in the crap. So Mama G is continuing on her no sugar. Whoever else would like to go with the no sugar, join us. We are also encouraging those of you who aren't in the experiment to get back on the scale once a week. So Cara called it a once a week weigh-in for the month of September. I'm calling it a once a week weigh-in until we hit the end of the year, because we got a lot of stuff coming up in the holidays coming. We're going to work the plan together come the holidays. We're going to come up with strategies for what those holidays are going to look like for you. And you know what? I think getting on the scale, regardless of whether you're in maintenance mode or working the plan, is crucial to you understanding what your body needs. So let's get on the scale. All right. And lastly, some of you have fallen off the little fitness bandwagon. So let me tell you this, Cousin Christy was one of them. Cousin Christy, 77 years of age, working 40 plus hours a week. She's tired, but guess what? She let her exercise go and she was not happy about it. So I looked at her weekly schedule with her. I helped her find out where she was sitting in her fitness macros, courtesy of Samantha B. And we got in her days at the gym, doing her cardiovascular component, getting in her strength component, and on her days that she's working early or working a full 8-hour plus shift, she's getting in her mobility at home. So she's been knocking out of the park since I've been home from New York for the last 2 weeks. She's a much, much happier individual, and I couldn't be more thrilled to help her kind of get back on the game plan there. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Look for those challenges. Tomorrow, I want to see you guys connecting with us, letting us know who's in for what. And we're just going to keep motivating each other as that goes on a daily basis for the month of September for sure. But as I mentioned, that weekly weigh-in, I really encourage all of you to be doing it on a weekly basis. So anyway, it is 7:03. Sorry for the little go over. Samantha B, you want to unmute yourself?
This is Samantha B, and you are better for the rest.
And you know what Mama G always says, it's not about what you lose, folks. It's all about what you gain. Go get it.